Hello, and how are you doing today? So, I want to talk a little bit about worship. And today, I want to talk to us about the benefits of worship, looking at Psalm 91. The Bible tells us to worship Him in spirit and in truth, not only in spirit, but in spirit and in truth. And the question you would want to ask is, why in spirit and in truth? We are born again, our spirit is already regenerated, you know, and we know that we have access to the Father. But then the Father tells us in His Word in John chapter 4 that He seeks those who would worship Him in spirit and in truth. God is seeking. Isn't that interesting? God is seeking for those who would worship Him in spirit and in truth. The reason why God will tell us that is because He knows that truth fuels our worship. Truth fuels our response to Him. You should hunger for truth. You should hunger to know the things that are yours in the Word. You should hunger to know the things that have been freely given to you, because when you know, it fuels your worship. Psalm 91 fuels my worship a lot, because when I see what belongs to me or what I enjoy by virtue of exposing myself to the presence of God, I want to do it over and over and over again. Psalm 91 starts by telling us that he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High abides under the shadow of the Almighty God. The shadow The shadow is good enough for us, abiding under the shadow of the Almighty God. That when you dwell in the secret place of the Most High, are you dwelling in the secret place of the Most High? Do you hunger to dwell in the secret place of the Most High? That you may abide under the shadow of the Most High. In fact, Psalm 91 further reveals to us that God hasn't told us to worship Him in vain. That's the sweetest thing about God. That everything He has asked us to do for Him carries on the flip side a blessing, carries a promise attached to it. So when next you engage worship, engage it with a knowing, a truth backed up in your heart that there are benefits attached to your worship. I'll quickly do some read so that you can perhaps be hungry to go back to Psalm 91 and see what has been freely given to you if you stay as a worshiper. Now, he says, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. He says, I will say of the Lord is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. And verse 3 now says to us, surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid by the terror by night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor the destruction that lay waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your right, and then 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked, and on and on and on. I can't do justice to this chapter because it's so rich and it tells me what is fully mine by just simply dwelling under the secret place of the Most High. My heart desire is that you would truly desire to stay and to abide in the presence of the Most High. Set a time to always be with the Lord, alone with the Lord, so that fear is not a part of your life. When you are not in worship, when you're not a worshiper, when you're not in tune with God, fear seeps into life. You live in fear. But it says here that he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, fear vanishes. We don't live in fear. 1,000 may fall at our right, 10,000 by the right side. It won't come near us. This is a knowing that I live by. This is a knowing that I live by, that I'm covered, that I'm not alone. And it's the same for you. It's this knowing that fuels the worship, that fuels, that gives his flesh, that gives his substance. So that whenever you're singing to God, whenever you're engaging in anything that makes the Lord happy, you're doing it with so much strength from your spirit. You know what? Go stay with Psalm 91 and see what the Lord has said is yours by virtue of you dwelling in the secret place of the Most High. It's me, Eva Hitayo, your worship leader and your Christian life